Member for Goyder, and I believe it's your birthday today.
It is indeed, Madam Speaker.
To the member for Goyder.
Madam Speaker, I could go into detail today about how the budget has increased funding for corrections, police and the courts, or how Labor loved announcing projects and never funding them, or the poor contract management that left us with a growing debt and contractual obligations. But Madam Speaker, as it is my birthday, I'm going to be a little selfish instead. Madam Speaker, I was asked by the Treasurer a few weeks ago what I wanted for my birthday. And I said, he's a very nice bloke, the Treasurer. He'll share everything with you except his fishing spots. Now, Madam Speaker, I told the Treasurer all I want for my birthday is for the rural area to get its fair share. And Madam Speaker, today I am a very happy birthday boy. Madam Speaker, this budget includes $80 million for the Arnhem Highway Duplication Program between the Stewart Highway intersection and Cosca Road. I've also written today to the Treasurer to request that this money rectifies the problems with the Arnhem Highway and the Freds Pass Road as part of the scope, as that is a constant concern in my electorate. Now, Madam Speaker, even though I am being a little bit selfish in this speech today, I want to let you know that I reached out to the Minister of Infrastructure, and I even asked for my friends out in the Daily and my friends on the Tiwi Islands, because I know sometimes their members aren't quite as active as I am, Madam Speaker. So we made sure there's money for roads in the Daily, there's money for the road between Wadeye and Palumpa, there is money, $43 million, I believe, for the Tiwi Island roads. So we're delivering for all Territorians, especially those in the bush. And Madam Speaker, the list goes on, but let me just begin by saying, before we get to my next speech, my next point here that I want to make, I am incredibly proud to be part of the team that has a Minister for Education that actually listens to Territorians, Madam Speaker. Now, Madam Speaker, the member for Katherine, she asked me, she said, what would you like for your birthday? And I said, Minister, all I want for my birthday from education is I want to make sure the kids that go to 𝙍𝙀𝙇𝙬𝙍𝙎 Primary School go to school safely each and every day. And Madam Speaker, I'm a happy birthday boy today. Madam Speaker, this budget includes $800,000 for kiss and go and covered walkway works at 𝙍𝙬𝙬𝙬 Primary School, including $50,000 to look at the specific scoping about opening up that parcel of land next to the school to make sure that kids are dropped off on the right side of the road and it is safe. And Madam Speaker, this will save lives, this will improve the safety of rural kids, and I'm incredibly happy to have the Minister for Education on my team here. And she didn't stop there, Madam Speaker. I didn't ask for it, but I got it anyway. It includes $700,000 for works at Taminmin College. Now, it's nothing too flash, no ribbon cutting there, but it's important work to make sure our ageing infrastructure is looked after. So thank you, Minister for Education. Thank you, the Treasurer and the Minister for Infrastructure, for making it all possible. But, Madam Speaker, I was a little bit greedy, so my friend, the Minister for Sport and Culture, he rang me up, he said, Andrew, what do I buy you? I started with probably a new tie, I've only got 3. But he came back to me and I said, Minister, what I really want to do is I want to see the kids playing under the lights at Norbuild Oval. I want to see the men and women training under the lights, out of the sun, out of the build-up, out of the rain. And Madam Speaker, I'm preempting an announcement tomorrow, so I apologise to the Minister's team upstairs who are currently panicking, but the Minister has found the money. We will be lighting up Norbuild Oval. The Southern District Crocs will be playing under lights as soon as possible. And Madam Speaker, this is a big win for the rural area, but it's not as big as the wins the Crocs normally win by. So thank you, Minister. I spoke to my good friend, the Minister for Recreational Fishing, our Deputy Chief Minister, the member for Nelson, and he said, what do I buy you? And I said, I don't need anything, Minister, but what I really would like is I'd like to make fishing easier and safer for the rural kids. And Madam Speaker, I'm pleased to be part of the budget, the government, that is delivering a budget that cares about the rural area, because this budget includes $500,000 for Gilruin Road fishing upgrades to make sure that our kids aren't standing on the roads when they're going for a flick, to open up new opportunities to make it safe. And I know how passionate the member for Nelson is about his rural area, and I do acknowledge that it's slightly outside my electorate, but I used to fish there as a kid and I look forward to fishing there again when it's a bit safer. He's also delivering more support for recreational fishing through the Northern Territory's Recreational Fishing Grant Scheme, and I'm hoping this will open up lots of new, not so little projects within the Goyder electorate and the rural area. But thank you, Minister, on behalf of the people of Goyder. My good friend, the Minister for Trade, Business and Asian Relations, she said, what can I get you for your birthday? I said, Minister, I don't need anything, but what I would like to see is I'd love to see cheaper airfares for my people in the rural area. After they have a long day at work, after they've had a long working year, they like to go to holiday, Madam Speaker. And I, like many of my proud constituents, we like going to Bali, Madam Speaker. It is a tropical paradise just north of us. And I've had a look today, I looked at Google Flights and I could see return flights for $270, Madam Speaker. You can go to Kuala Lumpur for $350 return in July and August. So my thanks to the Minister for Trade, Business and Asian Relations in opening up these pathways and making sure that when we can have time for a holiday, Madam Speaker, that it's somewhere exotic and it's close and it's great. Thank you, Minister. My good friend, the Chief Minister, the Minister for Fire and Emergencies, she said, Member for Goyder, what can I get you for your birthday? I've got a lovely card for her from her in my desk today. But Madam Speaker, I said, look, I don't need a present from you, Chief Minister. I appreciate our friendship, but what I would like to see is I'd like to see bushfires NT getting a bit of love, Madam Speaker, and that's why there's $350,000 in the budget for minor work to bushfires NT. And again, it's nothing too flash, it's no ribbon cutting, but it's important that we upgrade our ageing infrastructure, as well as there is $2 million, which I believe is joint Commonwealth funded, for the Hughes airstrip upgrades, which I'm told allows bushfires NT to launch their planes and protect the rural area. So thank you, Chief Minister, and thank you, the Minister for Fire and Emergency. My great friend, the Attorney General, the Minister for Tourism, she asked me again, I've got a lot of friends in this team, Madam Speaker. I love all of my 17 colleagues, and I appreciate you in this chamber as well, Madam Speaker, and most of the crossbench and everyone else. Madam Speaker, the Minister for Tourism, she said, Member for Goyder, I know you're turning 28, you're getting old, what can I do for you? And I said, Madam Speaker, I've been looking for grey hairs, I haven't found any yet, but I appreciate your concerns about my health. But I said, I don't need anything personally, Minister. What I would like to see is more support for these major events in the Territory, such as the AFL, the Gold Coast Suns are playing tonight, the V8s, the Finkt, the Darwin Festival, the MXGP. I want to make sure after a long week at work that people in my electorate have something fun to look forward to and fun to go. So I'm incredibly happy that the Minister has delivered $36.5 million to drive those projects forward, as well as announcing $3 million for military tourism, because it is important, and there's a lot of World War II artefacts and whatnot in my electorate, and I'm incredibly thankful for that, Minister. My good friend, the Minister for Health, the member for Berkeley, he asked me, he said, Andrew, it's a big one. You're turning 28. That's a big milestone for a lot of people. And I said, Biggie never made it to 28, Madam Speaker, but I did. I said, Steve, well, member for Berkeley, sorry, what I really want to see is I want to make sure we're investing in our mental health, because I know how important it is across the Territory, and especially in the rural area, to make sure that we have access to mental health facilities. And what did I get in return, Madam Speaker? Well, he's delivered $135 million for mental health in the Territory, including $16.5 million for the new mental health ward at the Royal Darwin Hospital to improve services for patients and reduce the bed block at the Emergency Department. Thank you, Minister for Health, and thank you for all you do in your portfolios. And Madam Speaker, I reached out to the Minister. He rang me, sorry, I can tell the story correctly. He rang me, the Minister for Lands, Planning and Environment, and he said, Member for Goyder, what should I get you for your birthday? Again, I was actually hoping for some new ties, Madam Speaker, but you can't always get what you want. But I did say I would like to see a bit more crocodile management in the Territory. And I'm incredibly pleased to see in the budget papers that there's an increase of just under $400,000 for enhanced crocodile management. And I assume part of that is probably, hopefully, to do with all of the pet crocodiles that are being sold in my electorate, Madam Speaker. Now, Madam Speaker, it is a great time to be a Territorian, and this week it's another good week to be a proud member of this country Liberal Party government that is finally delivering for the rural area. Madam Speaker, this budget delivers for the rural area in a way that hasn't been seen for a long time, and goes to show just how neglected we've been in the rural area for a number of years. Madam Speaker, this budget delivers over $87 million specifically for the rural area and my electorate. Madam Speaker, that is $87 million that they wouldn't be spending unless it was needed. So it's been a long time since the rural area got its fair share. So, Madam Speaker, I love this budget, I love this team, I love the Treasurer, and I wish everyone a happy my birthday day. So wish me a happy birthday and have a wonderful day. Happy birthday.